Hello, everyone. Welcome to this new installment of the Wrestling Analyst. Tonight, we're taking a look at the November 28th episode of Raw 2022. Here we go. So the show starts right off the bat with Becky Lynch, the man, coming to the ring. And when she gets in the ring, she says she wants to take care of business. She goes to the crowd, talks to a couple of fans, and basically says that she's coming back to take care of business, kick some butts, and whatever. So Bailey interrupts, says that she wants to fight, but says to Becky that you're over there, I'm over here, so why don't you come to the ring so we can fight? So Becky says, "Oh, all right, I'll come in." And as soon as he starts going back down the stairs, somebody must have told her, but she realizes that Io Sky, which is wearing neck brace, so that that tells you that War Games matches can be brutal. Uh, and Dakota Kai are coming down the stairs. So she turns around to confront them, starts the fight with both of them. Bailey comes, gets in the fight. It's a 3-on-1. And Becky's at a 3-on-1 disadvantage, but she's still holding her own. And the segment finishes. They separate Becky from Damage Control and Bailey. So in that, Bailey's faction looks a little weak, 3-on-1, and they couldn't get a real advantage on Becky. It's like, okay, so Becky's a superwoman. Well, she's built like that, so that she's the man. But that confirms my thought of a Becky versus Bailey feud that's coming, or even maybe a Becky versus the whole Damage Control. Maybe Becky will ally herself with somebody else uh, for the fight. We'll see in the future. So on to match number one. So Rhea Ripley with Dominic Mysterio and Michin Mia. Mia needs the win to establish herself, but losing to Rhea Ripley will not be dramatic because OC, Judgment Day are involved in a heated feud, and probably Mia is going to have a win somewhere down the road, if not Monday. Rhea, like what I say that losing to Rhea would not be dramatic because Rhea is a freaking monster of a woman. Uh, and I think that she could be next in line for a title shot versus Bianca Belair. Because if I said it in one of my previous videos, there was a match before Rhea got injured to determine the number one contender, and Rhea won that match. But the championship in that match never happened. So I think they're going to revisit this. And the thing is, I think right now, Judgment Day is ready to have a title in their stable, and the best person to bring that title in the stable is Rhea Ripley. So for the match, like I said, Rhea wants to position herself for a title shot. Mia dominates the start of the match. Rhea takes over, and she is really taking it to Mia. She even trash talks in the ring. And when at one point Mia Yim goes to make a dive outside the ring on Rhea, Dominic stops her from doing it. He interposes himself And Rhea attacks her from behind. When that happens, then AJ Styles come out from backstage, goes after Dominic, the OC, and the Judgment Day. They all come to the ring, start to fight, and then when the OC and Mia Yim clear the ring, AJ takes the microphone and says, basically, I thought this would be over Saturday. Obviously, it's not. So it's gonna end tonight. So the four of you against the four of us right now. So that's our second match of the night. OC versus Judgment Day. OC dominates the start of the match. And then at one point, Damian Priest just tags in Rhea Ripley to battle Carl Anderson. So it's like, okay, she's going to just make him tag Mia Yim. No, sir. She starts hitting Carl Anderson. So at one point, Finn goes for the Style Slash. Anderson reverses and tags AJ. Rhea breaks the pin attempt on AJ. From AJ, I mean. And at a certain point, Finn Balor is in the ring. Mia Yim just body slams him. So it's like, okay, Rhea body slammed Gallows a couple of weeks ago. So Mia Yim slams Finn Balor. Not as impressive, but the idea is there. Mia Yim can mix it up with the guys too. Rhea wins the match with the Riptide. So this gives the Judgment Day a big win after their Survivor Series loss. So right after that, we have a segment with the Street Profits saying that they want the smoke, they want to have the tag team titles, and you hear shoosh. It's Chad Gable, obviously, and they announce that basically that there's a match later tonight, that night, for the Alpha Academy against the Street Profits. And then all hell broke loose. I'm gonna just go on the next segment to have one of its own. So the segment with the Bloodline minus Roman Reigns. Lots of talk. Jimmy and Jay saying that they went to war on Saturday, and Sammy takes the mic, basically tells Jimmy that he accepted him from day one, and then the last 6 months with Jay were not easy, but now Jay accepted Sammy as a member of the Bloodline, accepted him in the family. And Sammy basically says, from now on, when we have business to take care of in the Bloodline's name, we're going to be on the same page. He extends a hand of friendship. Jay just slaps it aside and hugs Sammy. And then another hug. And then he tells Jimmy to come in, hug, triple hug. And then they all look at Solo and they want to invite him in there. And you see Solo is like, but you see him, he wants to crack up, but he can't. And it's so funny. And what I see now is like all three of them, Sammy, Jimmy, and Jay, have given themselves a mission to make Solo break character at one point. And sometimes I think they go with a camera angle to make sure that we don't see Solo break character. But Sammy and Jimmy and Jay are gonna achieve that at some point. I'm pretty sure of it. And it's gonna be like, man, they did it. But anyway, so they're interrupted when they try to get Solo in the group hug. Conveniently, KO's music starts. He says he understands what Sammy does. I did it to you so many times. I don't want to ever see you again. I don't want to have anything to do with you again. I don't want to team with you again. Now, this one is important. This one is very important because Kevin saying to his best friend, the one he considers his best friend, he doesn't want to ever team with him anymore, is huge. So either they want to keep KO as a singles wrestler, which I don't think they want to do right now. I think the plan is to have Kevin and Sammy team up at one point and beat the Usos for the titles. Maybe in Montreal. We'll see. But, or maybe we're going to see Sammy versus Roman in Montreal. I don't know. But there are rumors on that way. I said I wouldn't comment rumors. I want to analyze the results. But uh, I can give my opinion on certain things sometimes. And what I think is that Sammy and KO are going to team up at one point. KO says to Sammy, you're not blood with them, and you will never be." And then Jay surprisingly goes to the defense of Sammy and says, "If you got a problem with Sammy, you got a problem with me." And KO basically challenges Jay to a match, and that's going to be the main event. So then we go backstage. Candice LeRae gets interviewed, and she basically says that she wants to make Dakota Kai pay for her injury, and that tonight she's going to take her out. Then we see Matt Riddle and Elias being interviewed at their turn, and they say that they want to go for the tag team titles. The Usos arrive. They say, "You're the twos, we're the ones, and you want to challenge us for a match? Anytime, any place, we're ready." So what I think there is that maybe we're going to have Riddle and Elias versus the Usos for a little bit until they pull the trigger on Sammy's turn, team with KO, and that team, let's call it KO Zane or whatever, um, to go after the tag team titles of the Usos. So on to the third match. So Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Street Profits, Montez Ford is coming back from an injury. So what I think is that they wanted to give the Street Profits give them back momentum coming back from an injury. And since they see them maybe as one more team going to eventually challenge for the tag team titles, uh, one thing that would be good, and I think we saw that a couple of years ago, would be a tag team elimination chamber. That would be good. Street Profits, Usos, Alpha Academy, a couple of teams from SmackDown, Riddle and Elias maybe, but you know where I'm going. Anyway, so speaking of Alpha Academy, I think it's a shame that they are now getting used to just put people over. Every tag team that comes back from injury, they face Alpha Academy to get their first win. Chad, I said in one of my videos, Chad Gable is so underestimated, but anyway, that's not the goal of this. Street Profits win the match with the Frog Splash, and this is to give them a big win on their comeback. And that's about it. So after that, we have a segment with Austin Theory. Uh, Austin Theory, the new U.S. champion, basically says, I'm the now, I'm the face of Monday Night Raw, and the Austin Theory era begins right now. And he says he doesn't want to be called Kid anymore. Seth Rollins comes out to his music, serenading the crowd. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Anyway, and the first thing he says coming in the ring is, congratulations, kid. And they go back and forth, and Seth says he wants to fight for the title he lost. And Theory says, I'll fight you on the champ's time, and I'm not your damn kid. Segment is finishing like that, and we go on to match number 4 of the night. So Dexter Lumis versus The Miz. This match was initially announced to take place at Survivor Series, but probably that when they checked out the time that each match would take, especially the 2 War Games matches, those can last easily 40, 45, 50 minutes. And so when you have 2 matches like that take 40 minutes, 45 minutes, you don't have much time for the rest of your matches. So that's probably the reason why they scrapped that match from the Premium Live event and put it on Raw Monday. So Dexter has the upper hand to start, and at one point when Dexter Lumis was like, he was there to collect his money, and the way he was moving in the ring, and Corey Graves said, I never saw that, and even referenced a conspiracy or a false information circulating on the web, and when he said, forget the 87,000 RIS agents, just hire Dexter Lumis. And it was like I burst into laughter when I heard that. I said, "Oh man, Corey Graves is so good at commentary." So anyway, Miz tries to get away from Lumis, exposes the turnbuckle. Lumis hits the turnbuckle with his head. Miz tries to go for the pin with his feet on the top rope. Lumis kicks out, and he wins the match. Shortly after that, Adam Pearce gives him the pin. He signs the contract, takes the money bag, and proceeds to go around to go out. But on the way out, he takes some bills from the bag and gives them to some kids in the attendance. Now, was it real money or not? I don't think that a couple of $100 is going to put WWE in bankruptcy. So it might be good. But anyway, Miz, when he saw that, attacks Lumis, takes back the money bag, and then Johnny Gargano comes out, super kicks the Miz, takes back the $100 that Miz took from a kid, goes to give it back to the kid. So anyway, Dexter Lumis now is officially under contract in WWE. So let's go to match 5. So Candice LeRae versus Dakota Kai. So Candice wants to avenge her injury suffered at the hands of Damage Control, and Dakota Kai just basically wants to pursue her momentum as a tag team champion. Now, a lot of times when tag team champions find themselves in singles matches, a lot of time they lose their matches. So And that's exactly what happened there. The match was good, as a lot of women's matches are. And Candice wins with a twisting neck breaker from the second rope. So that's a successful comeback for Candice LeRae. Gives her momentum and maybe continues the feud with either Dakota or Io Sky. It could be next to maybe get to Bailey after. But I said that Bailey would be involved in a feud with Becky Lynch, in the near future. Probably even started already. So, nice victory for Candice. Continues to establish herself, and Dakota doesn't really lose anything because she's still women's champion. Now then, we have last segment of the evening with Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belair being interviewed. Now, if you see the image I'm putting on right now, you see that Bray Wyatt's symbol is on the TV right behind Alexa Bliss. And Alexa, during the whole interview, seems to be completely lost until they ask her, "What do you think?" And then she like wakes up and said, "Well, what she said." So uh, she doesn't have a clue what happened there, and that means that Bray is getting back his control over Alexa. Now, my opinion, I think that Dark Alexa was the best version of Alexa Bliss we had since her arrival. I think was in 2016, around there. So I do think that this was the best version of Alexa. Are we going to see another version of Dark Alexa? Probably. Uh, I kind of hope so. Uh, but seeing that she's falling under the control of Bray Wyatt again, I can't help myself but thinking that we're going to see a Dark Alexa in the future. So now on to the main event. So the main event, Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso. 3 words. What a match. Uh, Great match between the two of them. Uh, Analysis wise, storyline wise, and psychology wise, excellent match. Uh, because that match showed that Kevin is true to his motto: fight Owens fight, keep on fighting. And he kicked out from numerous super kicks from the Usos. Um, and he just kept on fighting and kept on fighting and kept on fighting. Solo Sikoa even tripped him up on the apron, still kicked out, and KO wins with a stunner. Now, I never had, because you all know now by now probably that I live in the province of Quebec, as does Kevin Owens, and we wrestle. I stopped wrestling about 10, 11 years ago. Um, but KO was started way back when I started myself, maybe a couple of years after. I never had the pleasure of wrestling KO or even wrestling on the same show as KO. So before I knew, I heard a lot of things. He was good and things like that. But I never saw him perform before he got to NXT. And when I saw him the first time, he blew me away. I heard he was good. I never thought he was that good. Uh, And one of my favorite moves from KO is when he does that fisherman superplex from the top rope, in which he starts and he just turns around like that. It's just wow. I love that move. Uh, and I never saw it done before I saw KO do it. Well, anyway, I don't recall seeing a move like that before. Um, so this advances the storyline for KO to maybe face Roman Reigns in the future, and just kept on fighting, keep on fighting, keep on fighting, keep on fighting all the time. So that's it for Raw episode. Um, I don't think Jay lost anything in that match, momentum wise, because he just got beat by KO, which is going to be a contender for Roman. And it's a little bit the same thing I said about Dakota Kai, tag team champion, losing a singles match. Doesn't really matter. So that's it for tonight. That's it for Raw, November 28th. And I'll see you when I do my SmackDown analysis later on. Have a nice evening.